delegates will come on up, please.
I don't care about it.
Tried to get Connor to go in the middle. Oh, in the middle. Go by yourself. Did you go by yourself? You should call about it. You get that name.
Okay, number 2.
You get whatever's left.
Yeah, please, sit down. Okay. Welcome. Ottawa County Republican Candidates Forum. We're glad you're here. I'm Bob Hudson, and I'm going to moderate for tonight. I'll make a few introductions right quick. First one will be our county chairman, Alberta Myers. Where are you at, Alberta? Okay, standing up there. Give her a hand. Thank you. Did we get those other Republican candidates that for running for state office here? Is Elaine Bowers here? There she is, right there. She's our current state rep, and she's running for senator in our new district that we got here. Thanks for being here. Kyle Abbott, did he make it? Didn't see him. Kyle Abbott didn't make it. Susan Concanon, I don't think she made it either, did she? She's running for Elaine Bowers' seat. Republican candidate for County Attorney Jason Parks. He's not with us tonight either. Other Republican candidates that are running unopposed are the following people. Registered Deeds, Marilyn Heck from Minneapolis. County Clerk, Mary Argenbright from Minneapolis. County Treasurer, Pat Backus from Minneapolis. Are any of y'all here? Any of those people I just read out? Okay. And we have an incumbent county commissioner for District 3, isn't it? Ray's Ray's here. Where you at, Ray? Top shelf. Okay, Ray, good to have you down. Okay. Okay, one thing we want to make sure, we all came here as friends, and we want to make sure we all leave that way. Candidates have been asked to talk about themselves, their ideas, their plans, and what we could expect from them if elected. We see no need for a candidate to bring an opposing candidate into his presentation.
That's us.
Each candidate will be given 3 minutes for opening remarks, and candidates will be given 1.5 minutes to answer predetermined questions that the committee has put together in the last year. Following the Q&A period, each candidate will be given 2 minutes for closing remarks. We're going to start with candidates from District 2, County Commissioner. We'll use the same instructions and format by the candidates for sheriff as we're doing for the county commissioner. Order of presentations will be determined by random draw, which they've already done to start their presentations. And I guess you know that chair number 1, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. All right. So, first group we'll hear from tonight will be the Ottawa County Commissioner. Something you might not know, that job has a base pay of $20,840. It's a big job. We're responsible for the county budget, county roads, and a lot of other elected county officials that report to them. We know that all of your questions won't be answered. These guys will be around after the forum, so you can catch them one-on-one and ask them anything you'd like to. Okay, so the way it stacks up here, Jim K is the #1 guy, and he's first. Jim K.
Somebody else.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate the opportunity.
Tony's still on the phone.
Hey, buddy, say hello to everyone. Appreciate you coming. I'm Jim Kay. My wife Carolyn. Say hi, everybody.
You got plenty of help,
Married for
Tony?
49 years. I've resided, her and I both resided in the county our entire
Need
lives.
any more? We got 4 over
Major
here.
family
We're at the
distribution.
fairgrounds.
We have a great appreciation for all the county and people in
I'm calling in for Brian and
Appreciate
Janet,
it.
everybody.
My family has a history of over 100 years
All right.
leadership in this county. I had to eat clean. My great-grandfather was county commissioner. My father was active on many county boards. And probably him was the one that had the influence on me becoming a leader, watching him do some of the different things in the county. Leadership roles of mine were starting with 4-H, FFA, church organizations, and several other civic organizations. Ottawa County is a strong agricultural community with 2 great school systems, excellent health care facilities, and excellent health care personnel. It's a great retirement community and an excellent bedroom community for those people who work outside the county. My agenda is to serve the people of Ottawa County, listening to and working with you and working with the other county commissioners as a team. Other elected officials and city officials and department heads of the county, we work together for the continued improvement of the county and the community. Thanks to the dedication of volunteers in this county, we have excellent ambulance service and excellent fire departments. I have taken the time to work with other elected officials, department heads, and volunteers. Being retired, I have the time required to perform the job of being county commissioner. As of December 1st, this year, I will have completed the required courses to become a certified county commissioner, of which only 15% of the commissioners in the state of Kansas ever obtained. I do learn a lot from those meetings and more interacting with the other county commissioners and finding out they have similar problems to what we have. Being dedicated to community service, I've served 4 years as a county commissioner, 8 years on the city council of Minneapolis, 28 years on the fire department. Have chaired the county ambulance task force committee, which reorganized the ambulance service down at Bennington, and they have got adequate service now. Helped establish the countywide economic development director, who Phil Homick is that director, and he's done great things in this county to help improve the economy and bring in, well, I think if you read the Messenger this week, you'll find out there is an assisted living center coming to town, and there's a lot of other things that he's done that we just can't do. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. We've got a timer down here named John Hudson, and he holds up a sign when it's 30 seconds into it, or left, and then he holds up one that says time's up. He timed up you, Jim. Earl McCullough.
Good evening. Welcome to the Ottawa County Fair. My name is Harold Pellick. I'm running for Ottawa County Commissioner District 2. Born on a farm 5 miles east of Ottawa, Kansas. My grandfather was colored homesteaded after coming to Kansas as a covered wagon with his family. I went to Crown Point Country School through the 8th grade. I graduated from Minneapolis High School. I lived in Ottawa County all my life, except for 4 years I served in the U.S. Navy. I've been in construction and agriculture all my life until Willie retired in '87. From Ottawa County Road and Bridge, I applied for the job. I was hired by Commissioner Max Hosley, Carl McGowan, and Bob Elwood, highway administrator, to run the Ottawa County Road and Bridge for 8 years. Proud of all the work we did. One that stands out is the repair of the river dam behind the fairgrounds over here. The city had a bid of $80,000 to fix it. We decided to let the road and bridge work on it. Councilman met, and they share the cost 50-50. The road and bridge went down there. Al Baker, Clarence Gunamaker, some of those old boys, and we went down there. They drove piling, tied that dam all together, poured 50 yards of concrete in it. It's still standing there today, and the cost of the city share was under $5,000. That was one of the highlights of the deal. During my terms, I held the District 2 Commission job from 2000 to 2008. Following the election, a young man who's still in business here asked me if I was going to lower his taxes. I said, no, I'm not going to lower your taxes. And he said, well, I thought when you got to be commissioner you would. And I said, no, I can't. But I will promise you one thing, you'll get something for your tax dollar. And I've always pushed that hard. During my terms, voting was implemented. The board was split in, as made it as friendly to agriculture and manufacturing as we could. We also got a 5-year road plan put in place to maintain the asphalt roads on a 5-year rotation. I'm running for the commissioner again because I'm proud of the county. I only want the best for it. I want to work with each of you. The last primary got beat by 3 votes, and every vote counts, so I need your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Harold. Hold it. Candle, Uncle Friday. Excuse me.
I don't have no prepared speech. Everybody, I'm just here to talk. I want my agenda to be heard. Can't hear? Can you hear now?
I am.
If elected as county commissioner, I want to look forward to serving you guys as a community. Plus, there's a few other things I wanted to get accomplished if possible. That would be more businesses create more, how do I say it, more revenue for us. And in return, I will have people come in to our houses that we have, the free land that we have, just multiple other things. It's going to be an open door policy. Don't have no problem talking to people. Kind of mic fright right now, so I keep speaking. I apologize. I don't even know what else to say, but other than I want more businesses here, and that's my big push. I want businesses, and we got a big development up there by interstate. There's no reason why we can't get something in Orange Orchard to fill that spot. I'm real familiar with McPherson. They give a lot of free electricity out. I know we can't afford that here in this community. I'm sure we can give them something in order to draw them here. Whether it's just being friendly to them or whatever we can do, we can give them something in order to bring them here. What else to say other than that's my platform, and don't have no experience. Been with the community 7 years. My wife's Auntie Derrick's. Got 3 stepdaughters. One son, Kendon, Bethany, Michaela, and Lindsay. Just like the community, that's why I'm running. I love the community. I'm starting to get more people. We've got beautiful ideas. Look door to door. Let me think back. Look door to door, and as I talk to people, they got beautiful ideas for the community. I think some of them are afraid to come to county, city meetings to discuss them, but they do have some good ideas in order to help the community. I have no more to say to that.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, now, you hold that thing right up to like you're going to eat it. Then they can all hear you out there. Our next candidate is Chris Carlson.
According to bright white legs, I melt very easily. I'm Chris Carlson, farmed here since I was a kid. Rode around with my dad for quite a while, so I kind of got to know the ins and outs of how the county works and how it doesn't work. I don't think the county's doing a bad job. I think we need to get a little more infrastructure and more people in, more businesses in. We've got a lot of talented people driving this line from all over the place doing that. I've been on the city planning commission for, Lord, too long. I guess I'm a township treasurer, which is a really high-paid job. You get to hear everybody's phone calls. One thing I have learned about being, not as I couldn't say I was in politics, but everybody has their idea of what it should be, and everybody's idea is different. And that's where everybody gets mad at the ones that make the decisions, because they end up hearing all of the deal. I remember one lady called me up, and all I'm in charge of in the township is gravel. That's it. Lay the gravel on the ground, pay for it. One lady called me up when they were up on the highway redoing 4-lane. She gave me a 15-minute lecture on her fact that her phone line was cut, and she would have no way to get a hold of the fire department or the hospital. And for 15 minutes, she made a lot of good points, but I just asked her what she was calling me on. She said, "Oh, well, my cell phone." So you got to kind of look at all sides of the story to make it go. I think the county guys are doing a good job. I think we've got a great county. I'd like to see the city and the county get together just a little bit better, and no infighting, no foul thing. This is the whole county thing. We're all in the same bucket here. Let's see if we can't get some businesses in here, keep them in here, keep our talent at home. See if we can get a little bigger, a little better. That's all we got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. Okay, this next gentleman, Chad.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Chad Eliza. See a lot of familiar faces in the crowd. First, thank you for coming out. Really appreciate you guys coming out and listening to us all. As a local, I own the professional roofing systems here in town. As a local business owner, I personally donate hundreds of hours to our community in form of build wheelchair ramps. We've donated roofs to the parks in Delphus. We're constantly trying to get back to our community because we get so much out of it. Tell you, this is everything I do is for my children. My biggest concern is their future. I'd like the opportunity to serve as the commissioner. I'd like to serve 2 terms and run for something on a state level. Be up there with Miss Bowers. Mrs. Bowers. Like I said, either way, whether we win or lose in this election, all of us are winners because we live in the best county in the country. I honestly believe that. That's all I have to say. I can't promise nothing, except for do the best that I possibly can in that position. And I definitely want to be a voice for every single one of you, everybody in the county. So, thank you very much.
Thanks, Chad. Okay. I guess. How many of y'all have noticed I'm not wearing any socks? I got in trouble for that after we got here. My wife said, man, you don't have socks on. You know, I forget things. That's why I got these notes. Okay, now it's time for questions. We're going to do it the same way that we did a while ago, except the number one guy don't get the first question, he gets Harold up. And the first question would be, what do you see as the most important goal of the county and the commission?
Most important goal of the county commissioners is to oversee the county operation and also see that it gets done. This county has a lot of issues. They just got work to do. They got people that can do it. It's just a matter of getting them out there and getting them started. A little bit of leadership. That's all it needs.
What do you see as the most important goal of the county and the commission? What do you see as the most important goal of the county and commission?
The most important thing I think is to get more business. I mean, that's plain and simple. If we get business in here, our community will thrive. It just oversees so many things that we can do within the community. That'd be schools, get more people in here. Our school systems will create, oversee more people, or I should say, more people here, more will help our community and everything. So it has to be the creation of more businesses.
Well, personally, the business thing is great. I'm not going to say this here, I'm probably not really good with government. I think we get over-regulated and minority rules in some things. We have 3 people growl because of this, and the rest of them don't care, and the 3 people get listened to. I'd like to see the regulations relax a little bit. We're one more stand out in the middle of the boondocks. Let's enjoy life and kind of let people come in and not get so wound up about things. It's a country, we're all a family out here. But I think the county commission can work with some of the people, get rid of some of the idiot laws, and back off on some of the stuff and modify it. That's just the way I look at it.
What do you see as the most important goal of the county and commission?
First and foremost, I do believe that the safety and well-being of the public is number one before anything else. Then budget and everything else come after that. I say that as in, we need to make sure we have the money for our EMS, our fire department. I know all of us guys in the fire department, we appreciate what we do have, but I think just making sure we're all there for them. Any one of us in this room would gladly pay $150,000 for a new EMS if our life is on the line. So I believe that should be the number one priority. It is responsibility. I think that lacks a lot throughout the entire country. I'm not saying nothing bad about things like here.
The most important goal of the county is to establish policies and leadership roles to help bring business and stuff down. We do have, I'm going to cut off a little short, we do have a great economic development director who is eagerly and intensely working on bringing businesses to town and the community. He's doing this countywide. We stepped this up in the Minneapolis for several years. We stepped it up to the county level. And Bill has done a great job. I'd say please, I think a couple, 3 things that's happening right now. If you see one of those big consistent with us in this country. And just lots of good things out there economically happen. we can bring a lot of businesses down, we can bring a business down, hire 100 people. When that business goes down now, some of you remember several years ago when a similar situation happened. If he can bring 10 businesses to town, we'll only hire 10 people each. If one of those businesses goes down, we don't lose near as much.
I will for $5.
So it's not just going out and getting a big business. It's just getting a bunch of small businesses and working with those businesses. Working with the other community leaders in the county, which we reestablished the countywide elected official meeting a couple of years ago, which was established years ago when I was on the city council and somewhere in between it got dropped. Now that I'm on commission, we reestablished it about a year and a half ago. And we're meeting with each of Culver, Tescott, Bennington, and Delphus at quarterly meetings. We got school board members coming in. We've got the principals from the school district coming in, sitting down and talking to us, telling us their problems and giving us suggestions, and we in turn help them if we can. There's just lots of things that we're getting done. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, that's the first round. Second question. If the economy does not improve, are you willing to cut department budgets and or raise taxes?
Hard decision to do, but in order to establish what we got in the community, sometimes you have to do it, sometimes you don't. Without having numbers in front or anything other than just what he just said, I can't answer it truthfully, a truthful answer to the question, but if we had to cut something, it would be something that wouldn't affect the community as greatly as EMS, fire, the sheriff's department, or any of that. It'd have to be something that was very, very minor.
He's right. Without the facts and figures, it's hard to tell. But for the most part, I would imagine any department can lean themselves up if they try. There's a few, may not be big things in every department, but little things that can take care of it. Everybody works together. Maybe we can keep from doing that, and hopefully not having to do that. If it comes down to the bare knuckles has to do it, we're gonna have to do it. I mean, that we've got to keep going. We got to keep the services going and keep everything safe. Police, county, fire, we gotta have those. I mean, we may have to cut back some stuff, but that's part of life.
If the economy goes downhill, my main concern priority is keeping our employees of Ottawa County employed. I'd do everything I possibly could to eliminate anything we could out of the budget. The employees be last. Because without the people of Ottawa County, we have no county.
I said I'd do it for $5. Grandpa.
Budgets are a tough one, and that's the one the commissioners have responsibility over and authority over too. There may be times we have to cut services, but most of the budgets that we're seeing come through this year are just about the same as they were last year. Very little increases. As said, we may have to cut sometimes, and if we do, there will be a setting down with department heads, with elected officials, and those department heads that are responsible for those budgets. We will discuss where they feel they can cut, because without their input and their insight into it, we don't always know what happens in those departments to the very bottom dollar. And we just have to work with them at that time it comes. We may have some economic tough times in this country, I will not say that we won't. But overall, with the agricultural background we got and what's going on with agriculture right now, we spend a real good economy compared to some of the other counties and some of the others. Now, one thing that does make it tough for our county is, and we talk to these people about western Kansas, yeah, we got oil wells, we got no problem with our budget. Here we have to, no oil wells and very other little things that bring revenue into us, which has to mean we have to take it from the tax base and have to take it from the people. and it goes to good service.
Thank you, Jim. Harold? Well, tough times are here. We all know there's tough times here now because the regulations come down to the state and federal, and all our good leaders with all these good jobs going. Stuff, you know, things are pretty tough. But, you know, our county's a good county, and I don't think there's some bad in it, maybe here and there a little bit. Frills and chills we could maybe eliminate, but overall, if you want the services and they're doing you a good job in one way, then you go free rides, you go free. And if you have to increase the tax a little bit, you gotta make up your minds if you want it or you don't. You can express your thoughts to the commission. You're gonna make a point to go back to them, and sometimes it's out of their hands. Sometimes for them. We need is jobs here. Everybody knows that. People don't want to start jobs when they got all these regulations pounding them over the head and won't let them do this, won't let them do that. You can't expect miracles. We're all in it together. So we're going to have to do the best we can.
I want to know why you get paid $1,600.
Thank you, Harold. Okay.
Question number 3. Public employees' salaries and benefits are a common topic of conversation. Do you think county employees' salaries and benefit packages are sufficient?
Full benefit and retirement.
Okay, stick a dynamite here. Without knowing these actual figures and stuff, I think they're probably commensurate with everybody else. I know a little bit about Lincoln County, and they're having a little trouble. I think we're doing good. I'd have to look it over and see. They certainly deserve what they get, and probably will deserve, cost of living at least. But like I say, without looking at the actual figures, I really couldn't say anything. But as far as I know, from what little I know, I'd say they're doing pretty good and better than most. But nothing that can't be improved.
My personal opinion on salary, stuff like that, right off the get-go, commissioners are well overpaid, to be quite honest with you. I think that it would be great to benefit from, but I don't want to take advantage of the taxpayers. If I had my way, which there's no way in the world I'd get 2 out of 3 votes as far as cutting our own throats. Some areas throughout the county I think are probably paid, some are underpaid. It's kind of hard, touchy subject really. I know personally I would be willing to, if I like it, to take a loss, or to take a decrease. Maybe to make it a little more fair to, like I said, I don't want to take advantage of the taxpayers, and I think about every other position throughout the county. I think we do need a little reevaluation of some salaries. That's about it.
Thank you, Chad.
We got real good county employees in this county. Their salaries, we help set to a point, but the other elected officials that have them in their offices, they tell us what those people are worth and what it's cost to replace them. Like I say, it is a tough one. We try and pay good wages because we have to compete with the other market out there, whether they're going to go to work in the bank or whether they're going to work somewhere else, or maybe one of the road crews is going to go to work for the construction company. We have to meet wages that are equal to that, or we will lose good employees. And like I say, we have an awful lot of good employees in this county, and a lot of them have been here a long time. We paid good benefits to them. That is a incentive that a lot of companies don't offer anymore. We got a good insurance package that we have worked on the last couple of years and have been successful in cutting our overall expenses in that. I'll just tell you real quick, about a year ago, we kept anybody that was on Social Security, we cannot force them to. We asked them if they would like to go off on Social Security, and that basically takes them off our insurance program. But again, we reimburse them for their supplementary, and we reimburse them for their Medicare. And take my instance, if I was to use county insurance, it costs about $600 a month for insurance. Cut that in half doing it with Social Security.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, everybody says we're gonna cut our wages a little bit. Probably half of you guys up there that's working and work for what some of these guys are working out there in that heat and stuff and all that stuff and all the work they're doing. Probably you wouldn't even give it a shot. So I think it's ugly. You gotta look at it like this. Look, they're getting the work done and having good roads and doing and having a good courthouse, running a good jail. That jail's full of people up there. The guys aren't just Sunday school boys, they're crooks, they're prisoners, come on. And it's just all put together, and I don't have any reason to think they need to be cut down. If I could, I'd give them all more money, because they probably don't deserve it. Hey, it's just, I gotta live within your means, do the best you can. That's the way it all works.
Thank you, Harold. Public employees' salaries and benefits are a common topic of conversation. Do you think county employees' salaries and benefit packages are sufficient?
Probably not. They're probably not comparable to anybody else around us. That's probably the downfall. But we should probably give them something a year because inflation goes up, so does insurance and everything else. So we got to keep them here. They are good employees. We just got to keep what we got here. And if it's a little increase, we got to give it to them. We can't take it away from the employees. We can't give them lay people off or nothing. But just keep what we got. And everybody work together and get it established.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, you guys are going to love this question after that one. It's more specific. It says, do you think county commissioner's salary and benefits are sufficient at $20,804? Who's first on this one? This guy's going to get some of his back.
All right, absolutely not. I think it's grossly overpaid for the time that they put into it. Just being quite frank and honest with you. And when you get in one situation where you have the opportunity to vote for your own pay, your own raises, you're taking advantage of that a little bit. Absolutely not. I would love to do the job for. Heck, if it was a volunteer job, I would be standing up here right now today. And so, it's high.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chad. Wow.
I think the commissioner's salary is maybe a little too high. The last time around that we did raises to county employees, we did not raise the commissioner's wages. We can take that as on record. There's many things commissioners do, sometimes after hours, maybe trip to convention for 3 or 4 days. I myself, like I say, it's been, I think I've gone to 10 different schools over the last 2 years to become a certified county commissioner, and that takes at least a day or a day and a half to go somewhere and spend 8 hours in the classroom learning learn about budgets, how to work with employees, how to maybe work with the news media, just different things that the commissioners face when they come out. And like I say, I think the salary is adequate. We did not raise it the last time around.
Well, the county commissioners are supposed to be COs over the whole and run the whole show. They're supposed to go with the whole county system, and they're supposed to put and make some decisions, talk with the head of departments and all that stuff. And they should be on the stick, and they should get paid for it. I don't know. I know when I first started in as a highwayman, Al Aylward, Carl McGarren, Max Osli was commissioner. They went at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they got out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon at 5 when they wrapped up. They was there all day, and they went out in the country looking at stuff, one way or another. Now we got to see them there. We go at 8 o'clock, sometime 10:30, they're done. Well, I know they have their own 24 hours a day. I spent many nights out on flood waters and stuff, and the roadman and stuff. That's part of the game we play. They probably have that money coming, but sometimes I think they don't quite put as much effort into it with the highway.
Thank you, Harold.
If elected as county commissioner, I'm not in it for the money, I'm not in it for the insurance. Don't care for the insurance, don't care for the money. If I get money, then so be it. If I get the money, I'm going to donate it back to the community anyway. Whether it's the fair, the library, whatever. I'm not planning on keeping any of the money, so I just want to get back because I'm trying to serve you guys. The money doesn't mean a lot to me. The insurance I got through my through where I work for, so the money's not the issue.
Thank you, Michael. Chris. I didn't know they made that much. This job's starting to look a little better. I guess I'm going to play by the rules that are there. If that's what we get, that's what we get. I know being on the township board, which is nothing compared to being a commissioner, but it doesn't matter if it's 8 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock in the morning, somebody's going to call you and complain about something, and that's, you can't put that on the clock. You just get to listen to it and enjoy it. It's lots of fun. But yeah, I'm just going to play by the rules. If that's what they get, that's what they get. Oh, I'm going to plan on doing the best I can.
Okay. Now, this last question, we've had this last question around a lot because of, mainly because of John Wilson. The thought that went into this last question was very, very deep. Okay, the last question is, do you think the county commissioners should be in session all day Monday for the convenience of the county residents?
I don't think necessarily the county commissioners have to be in session all day. The good leadership we got, the fine department heads we got, the other elected officials that take responsibility for their departments, requires us to be there, answer their questions. There's an open door policy for you people to come in anytime. And we have stayed past 10:30 many a time. And in fact, we have came back a couple of nights to do a couple of different things. Fire band had another problem here several years ago. We came back again, remember what it was. I know we did have Keith in and we hadn't solved that problem. So we did get called out other than just 8-hour days, you know. And lots of times we do cover from one end of the county. There's times we'll take an 80 or 90-mile trip out to look at bridges. Just recently we went to look at 5 bridges in this county that are what we call fracture critical, which means that we're going to have them inspected pretty thoroughly in the next year or so, and it's going to cost some money. We need to know whether we're going to do something different with those bridges or whether we're going to close it. I mean, it's just basic, you know, like we talk about cutting services and stuff. If we have to cut services, we have to cut services. If there might be one area we have to cut it. But anyway, that's where I stand.
guess I've seen them there all day, but I guess if there's something that needs to be done, well, that's fine. But I don't think they're probably not overpaid.
Thank you, Harold.
Personally, staying there all day wouldn't, how should I say it? It would kind of defeat the purpose they stayed there all day because everybody's working. You can't set some kind of appointment or some kind of schedule where they come at night or come with a special meeting or a special time to meet that individual within the community. All day, I would think it'd be a waste of time because everybody's working, or if there was a problem within the community, they could come through the lunch hour, but they would be on their lunch hour, so you're gonna have to designate some kind of special time during the week or the month, every month or something like the city does. The all day, I don't think that'd work.
Well, I guess I've been to a few commissioner meetings up there. Mostly that's for the daily stuff to do with the employees and that kind of stuff. And if there's people that show up there occasionally, in this age of cell phones and stuff, I don't think you'd have any problem catching a hold of the commissioner after hours or during the day. I know they do it to me, whether I like it or not. But they pull in my driveway, we'll talk. I got no problem with that. Call me on the cell phone, we'll talk. See if we can't get it figured out. But I don't know, as far as length of the meeting, the department heads have things to do. They don't want to sit there any more than anybody else does, I'm pretty sure. But they've got work to do, and they don't need us standing on their shoulders quite that much. But like I say, the way things going, drop by, give me a call, yell at me going down the street. I'll stop if I hear you. I'm about half deaf, but I'll try.
Absolutely, if people wanted us to stay there all day Monday, we should be willing. Commissioners, for the pay that we get, the pay that commissioners get, 40-hour work week, 52 weeks out of the year, you have to have a couple weeks off. That's $10 an hour. That's not bad money if you ask me. So definitely should be willing to put in as much time as it takes. If there's any issues that come across that I say, if I elect me as commissioner, I like to make it a point to make sure every single person in our county has my phone number, just like my customers do. I tell my customers the same thing. If you have problems, you have issues, you call me. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll answer my phone. You're cruising through the country and you hit a big pothole, you're not happy about it, give me a call. You know, there's no such thing as a stupid question or an arrogant question. You know, I want to hear everything everybody has to say, and I'm willing to put in the time to listen to every little thing. There's nothing too small.
Thank you, Chad. I think everybody had a shot at that question, right? So, now, each candidate gets 2 minutes for a closing statement. And the first guy up would be, you were first last time, right? Will it be Harold?
I want to thank each one of you for coming out tonight and finding out what the county, how the county operates. I want to thank these gentlemen for coming and sharing their input and for Bonnie and for doing his part of the team. I'll be available after this meeting to entertain any questions you have. I think working together with you as the citizens of Ottawa County and I as 2nd District Commissioner, with the other county commissioners, as a member of the board, other elected officials and department heads, can and will make a difference in providing the kinds of services the citizens of Ottawa County want and need. I have taken the time, and it takes time for this job, that it requires. I will take the time it takes to require for this job to do the job. I've taken the time to perform the job as 2nd District Commissioner in the last 4 years. And I'd like to say that being a county commissioner is a position of responsible leadership. I want to thank each one of you for support coming up in August. And I think I'm a little short on time in doing that. I'm going to do a little commercial. Well, I did talk earlier about volunteerism, which we have on the fire department, which we have on the ambulance service in this county. You can't get along without those people. Many of you attended the fair, have been around. If you haven't had the opportunity to go to the carnival, if you haven't had the opportunity to volunteer, if you haven't had the opportunity to donate to that carnival, I would suggest that you go over and take a look, see what's around, and see what you like about that carnival. I think it's been a great asset to this county fair, and I think it'll be a great asset to fair and the rest of the community as it continues to develop and the leadership is involved over there takes control and does a good job of what they're doing. That's a short commercial for those people over there. They're doing a tremendous job. Go over and thank them while you're here. Take a ride though, too.
Being a county commissioner has many responsibilities, not as a county sheriff's like you guys. Ottawa County has 1,500 miles of roads of all types to maintain, including over 90 miles of asphalt roads. We got over 280 or 68 bridges that need to be inspected every 2 years by a licensed engineer. It's not just blading it up. And also, the commission is responsible to oversee the county's business, of which I'm very proud of elected officials and workers. I have a strong passion for Ottawa County, and with my previous experience, I know what it takes to get the job done. Last time, in a primary, I got beat by 3 votes on the sheriff's company. Had a guy come up to me afterwards, and he said, the next day, and he said, hey, Harold, I owe you an apology. He said, my family had 4 votes in my family. We didn't get a vote this week. I took 3. So I'm saying, get out and vote. All your vote means somebody's going to do something. That's the way you get win if you don't vote.
Thank you, Harold. Michael.
Thank you for all coming out. Kind of bottled it up, but I speak a little better in person, one-on-one. I don't really know what to say, other than I speak a little better one-on-one. So if anybody would be interested in talking to me after the sheriffs finish theirs, I'm more than welcome, because I'd like to see what they say. I'm sure you do too. I don't know, I just got 100 ideas, and business is the biggest issue for me. I think the businesses, like Jim Kay said, you can't get the 100 employees business here. You got to start with the small, the 10, 15 employees. Get them established. Then you get them families lived in here. We get a bigger community. We can offer more to the bigger community or to the bigger businesses. Just starts off small. It's going to take a couple, 2 or 3 or 4 years probably. But that's where I want to go. I want to go with the businesses, because I think that's what we need for the community, to keep our school systems, the employees for our county. Everybody is to establish here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Michael.
I'm going to break a leg right there.
Yeah.
Thought I'd stand up for this one. Basically, all I can tell you is, if you get me in there, I don't have any biases, I don't have any prejudice. I look at things pretty cold and cut and dry. The one thing that is true about this whole thing, if you don't vote, don't growl, because somebody's got to get in there and get in the bucket. So everybody, I don't care if you vote for me or not, that's not my problem. That happens to yours right now. But I'd say get in there and vote and see if we can't get a record set, see if we can get everybody vote in this county.
Okay.
Well, first and foremost, thank you all for coming out and listening to what we all have to say. I'd like to clarify on what I would like to do with the position. I personally promise and guarantee to the community I want to spend time working with every single department in the county. I mean, getting out physically working with them. I want to stand out on the roads with the highway guys and work on the roads, spend, 40 hours a year with them. So, go to the sheriff's department, work with deputies, work with the sheriff. I want to know, them guys know their jobs better than anybody sitting behind a desk possibly could. Kind of reminds me as before I got into roofing, I was a general contractor. And engineer would step foot into a building and say, well, this is the way it's got to be done. Well, everything makes sense on paper, but you can't quite do it. Best way to cut budget, save money is through the insights of the employees. Why spend $300,000 on a piece of equipment they do not want, they're not going to use? That's my the main way I'm going to save money is through the voice of the employees of our county. Like I said, they know their jobs better than anybody sitting behind a desk. And I will not be that guy sitting behind the desk. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad. Well, that ends the county commissioner's part of this thing. So let's give all these guys a hand for making this come to commission. Thank you. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll take about a 3-minute break, that's all, and we get the sheriffs up here.
Oh, wait a minute. Is he right over there? The end of that building? Hey, Janet, bring your mess up.
Just make it good.
Brian back there with the bucket cap?
Probably. I said, happen to see
Okay. Second half. Where the Ottawa County get together and the public to see what's going on. And I really made one mistake. Not just the socks. That's really not a mistake. But we do have a county commissioner in this crowd that I didn't introduce that's not running this year because it's not her turn. Kathy Lupine. Good to have you here, Kathy. Okay. Stay down, gentlemen, I'll introduce you in a minute. Okay. Our county's had some good men fill the office of the sheriff of Ottawa County over the years. Most of the time, things are pretty quiet. Then someone has a spring into action. It's also a job for a good manager, someone that can get along with everybody. This job has a starting salary of $44,000. So let's take a look and see what the candidates have to say. And the guy that drew the number 1 field is Keith Colvin. Keith?
My name is Keith Coleman. I am your current sheriff. I live here in Minneapolis. I've lived in Ottawa County for about 20 years. My wife Becky's here in the stand. We just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. We have 2 children. They're still at home. One just graduated from high school and one in junior high. I've been a law enforcement officer for Ottawa County for the past 15 years. And it's truly been my honor to serve you as your sheriff for the past 3.5. The safety for the law-abiding citizens of this county has been my priority since day one. Even though I hold an elected office, there's one thing that I'm not, and that's a politician. I am, however, a dedicated experienced law enforcement executive with one agenda: the citizens of Ottawa County. My record as sheriff speaks for itself. My record is about integrity, commitment, accomplishments, and leadership. My record is about getting the most from the dwindling resources while providing a quality law enforcement service. I have heard and I've read the information that's being put out by my opponents, and I've come to a conclusion that it must be a lot easier to attack an opponent than to demonstrate that you are a better candidate. It is even easier to promise things that you have never before had to deliver. One thing I've noticed that hasn't been mentioned is the financial responsibility to the citizens. This is a crucial part of the job of the sheriff, regardless of who has the office. The office of sheriff involves managing multiple budgets, and in this county it's around $1.2 million. And we need to make sure that we get the positive results with each tax dollar. My mission will remain, as it always has, to protect you, to protect my employees, and most of all to protect our children, and to do so with proven leadership, sound financial management, and accountability. In May of 2008, just months before the last primary, the headlines in Minneapolis and Ottawa County were the commissioners closed jail to out-of-county prisoners. They were going to close our jail. When I took office late in 2008, the jail was in a financial crisis. It was well over $100,000 in the hole.
Thank you, Keith.
Next candidate, Brandon Cochran.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon Cochran. My wife Yvonne is sitting up here in the middle bleacher on the far left-hand side. Tomorrow's our anniversary. Happy anniversary, sweetheart. We have 5 children. My son Logan works at Blue Beacon Truck Wash in Salina. My wife's son Brenton will be leaving for the United States Marine Corps on August 28th. My daughter Alexis is preparing to go to paramedic school after she graduates from Bennington High School this coming year. She wants to become a flight medic. Jacob will be a freshman this year at Bennington High School, and Kylie will be in the 8th grade. Guys, I spent 10 years working for the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department, and I am running for the position of Sheriff of Ottawa County. I am not running for this position because of the pay is better. As a matter of fact, if I were to win this position, I would take about a $5,000 a year cut in pay from my current salary. I am not running for this position because of the better benefits. As a matter of fact, I have Blue Cross Blue Shield full pay family benefits right now, which is much better than what Ottawa County offers its employees. I am running because this is my home. I grew up here. I am running because I believe that with some changes we can make Ottawa County a better and safer place to live. I have worked in emergency services for 18 years, and I am a strong believer in training. When we are placed in the face of danger, we will react the way that we have been trained. If we have not been trained, we will not know how to react. Let's train the people that we ask to put their lives on the line to protect us. Let's train them to know how to react in this situation. I have plans that will increase patrol and dedicate an investigator to work criminal cases. I would like to start seeing some of the crimes solved instead of just going out and taking a report and then not having time to follow up. The dispatch center in Ottawa County is a vital, important operation to all Ottawa County emergency services. Dispatch is the lifeline that sends us out wherever we need to go. They are the lifeline that takes care of us, the emergency responders, while we are out on a call. I would like to reorganize dispatch and continue their education and send them through some more training. Let's take the steps to improve Ottawa County together. Make the best decision you can make for your family.
Thank you, Brandon. The next candidate, Nathan Jackson.
First of all, I want to thank the Republican Committee, the Fair Board, John Wilson with the newspaper, and everybody involved in putting this on, especially all you people here that wanted to come and educate yourselves on the three candidates. I have a prepared speech, but I don't read and make good eye contact at the same time with everybody. The reason I'm running for sheriff is I feel like I'm the most qualified candidate. No, I haven't been in this county for 15, 20 years over my entire life. Therefore, a lot of people don't know my name. I didn't put out a whole bunch of signs because of two reasons. Number one, that wouldn't change that people didn't know my name. And number two, I told myself that I would run this campaign within a strict budget. So therefore, all of my signs I hand painted and put them out myself. If I can run this campaign on a strict budget, I can run that $1.2 million budget the sheriff has on a strict budget also. I've spent over 15 years in law enforcement and corrections in my life. I've worked for all rural, small counties as a deputy sheriff, and I worked for a private prison system in Colorado for 5 years that basically does housing inmates for profit. So therefore, I'm aware of the upfalls and downfalls of that. And during my time in the prison system, I made shift commander, where I was in charge of upwards of 50 employees and 1,400 inmates. While I was with the prison system, I also got to see some very unfortunate incidences in prisons where there were riots and also homicides. While, if I'm elected your sheriff, I have some plans to make the sheriff's office a more part of our county and the people part of the sheriff's office. I want to bring programs to help our children stay away from and get off of drugs and alcohol. I want to start in the 5th and 6th grade with a DARE program. That's an expensive program, and that's a 2 or 3 year project. I also want to bring a county-wide SAD chapter to our county. I also want to bring Crime Stoppers to our county, and also some type of community advisory board where people from all walks of life in the county can meet with me as the sheriff and give their input on a monthly basis of what they see going on and what they would like to see change. I see that my time is almost up, so I want to thank you again for coming out tonight and meeting the three of us.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Okay. Now we've got a series of questions that will probably go pretty fast, with 2 minutes for answer. Number one question would go to okay. If elected, name some specific areas you would seek to improve the operation of the sheriff's department.
Like I said in my opening speech, some of the places that I would seek to improve some of the operations of the sheriff's office is I would like to train the personnel in the proper application of their job. It's hard to do your job when you ain't been trained. I worked in the factory when I was 16 years old until they told me how to stack the pizza on top of the rack and put it in the cooler. I didn't know how to do that job. So let's teach our people how to do their job. And that would be all aspects of the sheriff's office, the correction side, dispatch side, deputy side, and get the investigator out there and get him some training so that he knows how to solve some crime.
Thank you, Brad. Nathan?
Specifically, I think our people do need to be trained better at all levels in dispatch, in corrections, and with the road deputies. We have a very good group of people that work at the sheriff's office now, and I think with a little bit of more training and experience, I think we'll have a great group of people that work at the sheriff's office. And even at some point when everybody gets comfortable with their position, I see cross-training different departments within the sheriff's office, cross-training them so we can lower some costs there, so we don't have to call in people for overtime when we might have an extra body in the correction side. We could cross-train the dispatch so we wouldn't have to pay any overtime or anything like that at that point.
Thank you. Sure.
One of the main improvements that needs to be done at the sheriff's office is with the structure itself. When they built the jail, I don't think they spent enough time researching what we really needed. That facility is built great if you're running a prison with a fence on it. There needs to be more security updates. I've always thought that. We have one holding cell. Two people get in a fight, what do you do with the other one? You only have one holding cell. We need to get some other security doors in. We have updated a lot of the camera systems and that, and we do train a lot, whatever's available. But the structure itself needs to work, and it needs to be updated. It should have been done when it was built.
Thank you. Okay. Question number 2. Do you feel the sheriff's department is being managed as efficiently as possible, or what changes would you make to improve the efficiency of the sheriff's department?
Unfortunately, I can't speak if it's being managed efficiently at this point. All I can tell you is how I would manage it if I were elected. There are 3 different departments within the sheriff's office. There's the road deputies, dispatch, and corrections. I think each one of them departments needs somebody who is responsible to not only the sheriff, but to also his or her employees that work underneath them. I think that if you, as the upper level management, create some mid-level managers that know how to do their job and can take care of most of the day-to-day operations, if there's a major issue that I as the sheriff need to deal with, then I will. That's how most large corporations and even the military works. There is a rank system, and that would be something that I would implement in the department on a smaller level and give those mid-level managers some small control over the daily operations. They can answer questions about if inmates need this or if dispatch needs that. But those are some of the main things that I would improve upon if I was elected.
Sure.
Well, since I manage the jail and the sheriff's office, I think it's managed very efficiently. It's hard to have a boss when you have 2 people on shift. I mean, you can't make a sergeant when you have 2 people. I mean, they're in charge of themselves. The road deputy, he's out by himself. We're going to get a sergeant. And that all boils back down to your budgets. To have them extra people that they think you need requires money and funding and bringing more people into the jail. And the jail and the road are 2 separate entities. So the sheriff's office right now is managed very efficiently, and we work every day to try to change things to make it better. But we can't, we're doing all we can with what we have.
Thank you. Okay. Question number...
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Okay.
I also can't speak for how effectively it's being ran right now. I know that a lot of the trainings that I've been through, a lot of fire service training. The span of control that one person can manage is 5 to 7 people. There's a lot more employees at the sheriff's office than that. If we could make one supervisor over all corrections officers and put a supervisor over that department that would perform a quarterly evaluation of all the employees, let that employee know how that they're doing in their job, let them know the areas where they can improve in their job, give them an opportunity to improve. Same thing with dispatch. Put one person in charge of it and let them do that quarterly evaluation. Same thing with the road deputies. And then have those 3 people report back to the sheriff and let him know how all of these employees are doing. Even get him involved in the evaluation. But somebody has to work with these people firsthand to know how they're performing their job.
Thank you, Brandon. You guys thought I was just checking to see if y'all were catching it. Okay. Question number 3. State your opinion on utilizing the Sheriff's Department or Detention Center to incarcerate prisoners from out of county.
I am very much in favor of holding out of county, other county inmates. After working in a prison and working at this jail, at this sheriff's office, I see absolutely no reason why we shouldn't subsidize Ottawa County jobs with Saline County, Sedgwick County, Cloud County tax dollars. On the flip side of that coin, after working in a prison and seeing all of the programs, all of the mental health issues, all of the medical issues that prisons deal with, I don't see that a county jail is a place to hold state prisoners. When I worked at the prison in Colorado, our program staff, which was everything outside of the security staff, was almost as large as our security staff. And those people only worked Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Those mental health professionals, those drug and alcohol counselors, we're not going to get to come to work for Ottawa County with the pay that we can offer. And we don't have the facility for it. Even if we added on another 2 rooms, we still won't have the facilities to house those inmates. Even though that is a good revenue source, it's just not a source, I think, that our county can accept.
Thank you, Brandon.
My opinion on housing out-of-county inmates is we have to. That's why we built the jail. That's what pays for the jail. That's what pays every employee's salary that works on the corrections side. It pays for utilities up there. We have to house those people. But the fact of the matter is, contracts are getting harder and harder to get. I'm housing for Saline County and Sedgwick County right now. Saline County is going to build. That contract won't last forever. They are going to build. Sedgwick County is adding on facilities because their citizens don't want their tax dollars creating jobs in our county. So we have to look at other assets or other avenues to fill this place to make it maintained.
Thank you, Sheriff.
I think we're all in agreement on this one. You, the citizens of Ottawa County, voted for the jail to be built here. And you knew at that time that we were going to be housing out-of-county prisoners, and that was the purpose of it, was to create revenue for Ottawa County. So we all knew that going into it. During my time at the Sheriff's Department, we housed prisoners from Sedgwick, Wyandotte, Johnson counties. It was a good revenue for us. We have to house prisoners from other counties. That's what brings the money in. As far as housing state prisoners, like Keith said, it's getting harder and harder. Ottawa County was advanced in the building of their jail. We built it early on, and now all the other counties are building jails to do the same thing that we've been doing for years. So you do have to look at other avenues. But when we look at those other avenues, let's get those prisoners that might be in prison for a 5th DUI. Let's get those prisoners that might be in prison for some minor crime. Let's not get the hardcore prisoners here. And in the meantime, look, when we make that contract with the state, let's include training in that contract. Let's have the state provide the training to our corrections officers on how to handle state prisoners.
Thank you, Brandon. Okay. Somebody had a chance at that one, didn't they? You get that, Steve? Okay. Let's go. This question falls kind of in line with the one we just had. Do you think the current facility is sufficient for housing out of county and state prisoners? And if not, what improvements would you make?
Improvements that need made are we need a few security vestibules inside our pods, and we need more isolation cells. I mean, it was a plan to be built on. The jail was designed to add these to this area. I've had contractors or architects look at it. The drawings are done. That's what would have to be done to make it secure. The training issue, every guard, long before, or months before, I guess, KDOC ever brought an inmate to that facility, has been to a basic jail academy. They just need to do what they're trained and not get complacent. But that's what needs to be done to the jail to house state contracts.
Thank you, Keith. Brandon.
It's been a while since I've been in the jail, guys. I didn't work for the sheriff's department for about 4 years now. The facility at that time was adequate to hold the county prisoners that we held from other counties. I could see an issue here if the employees performed their job the way it was supposed to be done. If they stayed in that chair, there's 2 corrections officers on duty at all times. If one of those corrections officers stayed in that control room, there's a lot more control that way. They need to stay behind that board and go out of that room one at a time and only allow one person to leave that room so one's still at the board at all times. I think with what I've seen 4 years ago at the Sheriff's Department, we would be adequate if we performed like that.
Thank you, Brandon. Nathan?
There could always be some additional security when you're dealing with people who don't want to be in jail, and your main occupation at that time is to keep them in jail. Yes, you could always use more security. It is adequate to hold other counties' inmates with some probably minor exceptions of training, enforcement of rules, maybe some new security measures like the sheriff is suggesting. But I don't believe that it's adequate to hold state inmates. When I went to work for the prison in Colorado, I'd been on the road as a deputy for several years and had put people in prison. The training that I went through there was extensive, and I was not prepared to deal with the inmate population in prison. It took another month or so to get acclimated to the games that inmates play. I don't believe that a 40-hour training course is adequate to deal with that type of inmate. So if we did house out-of-state inmates, I would demand that the state train every one of my corrections officers before I took the first inmate.
Thank you, Nathan. Okay. A little different kind of question here. In your opinion, what is the worst crime problem in Ottawa County, and how would you address that problem?
Worst crime problem in Ottawa County right now is substance abuse. We've got it in many different forms. We've got underage drinking, and we've got a lot of illegal narcotics, illegal drugs being used. It's everywhere. That's not just Ottawa County. We just need to get out there and get on the streets. Let's get that investigator I'm talking about out there solving some of these crimes and free those deputies out so that they can be out patrolling the neighborhoods and being out there catching these things.
Thank you, Brandon. Nathan?
I think I agree with Mr. Cochran on that. It's substance abuse, drugs, alcohol, prescription medication, I think is the large thing at this point. And that education starts young. I think we need to really concentrate on educating our children in the grade school years and then through high school, along with aggressive patrol, and that even goes back with the county attorneys and the judges. The county attorney and judges would make a stand and show these kids that, and adults, that what they're doing is not acceptable by law. I think that would help a lot. But I think we need to start with education young and stick with enforcing the law.
Thank you, Nathan.
I would agree with both of them. Substance abuse is a big problem everywhere. Where it needs to start is the communication at home. The parents need to know where their kids are. They need to know who their friends are. It needs to start at home. And then they need, if we are picking these kids up, we need to do it swift, and we need to do it fast and get them hard so they know it. These kids are getting in trouble, but it's 2 years before they see a courtroom. It's 2 years before there's any consequences. The consequences need to be now. We need to speed up this juvenile process, but it definitely needs to start at home with communication.
Thank you, Keith. Everybody have a shot? Okay. Last question, too. What administrative or management skill would you bring to this office?
Well, my administrative and management skill, I don't know if I can just name it, but I learned my management. I began learning it in the Kansas Army National Guard when I was 18 years old. I really got a foothold in management and administrative operations when I worked for the prison in Colorado, where not only was I managing inmates, but I was managing staff on a daily basis. I learned there that you must be reasonable with your staff, not do anything that you wouldn't be prepared to do and haven't done yourself, and be honest with them, show them how to do the job, train them how to do the job, and do the job with them, and then expect them to do the job. So my management would be hands-on with every one of my staff members, because that is the most effective and most respectful way to be a manager.
Thank you, Nathan. Sir.
Knowledge and leadership and experience is what makes a manager. They need to know their job. They need to know their people's job. They need to know all of it. They need to know it better than anybody else. And that boils back to the training issue also, because if you don't know how to do their job, how do you know if they're doing it right? And you need to let them know what they're doing wrong when they do something wrong. And that's what I try to do is communication. I communicate with all my people. Talk to my employees, ask them. I'm there all the time. And 2 in the morning, I just show up. So, I mean, you have to be there to talk to the people. If you're not there, if you never go in at night when the people are working nights, they're not going to know what you expect.
Thank you, Keith.
I've spent a lot of time training on leadership. I took an extensive course through the National Fire Academy through Emmitsburg, Maryland. I've also spent the last 2.5 years as the director for Bennington Ambulance Service. At the time that I took over the service, we were under investigations from the Board of EMS. And since I've taken over, we've turned that around. We've cleared all that up. We went from 7 active techs to 24 active techs now. And we've doubled our training staff down there. I believe I've showed myself in the last 2.5 years, turned the Bennington ambulance around, and I'd like to triple the chance and the opportunity to do the same thing for the sheriff's office.
Thank you, Brandon. Okay. We're going to have now a closing from each one of these guys of 2 minutes. And Brandon, you be started.
I'd just like the opportunity to serve you, the citizens of Ottawa County. I've been doing this for 18 years. I've done it for 18 years as a volunteer. I do it every day in Bennington for $1.36 an hour. I don't expect a lot. I don't expect a lot. But I want to give you everything I've got. And I will give you what you pay for as a sheriff. Like I was talking earlier about Bennington Ambulance Service. I spent a couple of years as an officer, a training officer on the fire department down there. I am a strong believer in training. I want to train every employee that works for the sheriff's department, get them up there, get them knowing what their job is, and in the process, learn their job with them.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you.
I want to start by thanking my wife. She stood behind Christina. She stood behind me when she really didn't have to. And thank you, baby. I love you. I, again, have a prepared message, but that ain't gonna work. I want to say that if elected your sheriff, I will work with every county, state, local government and private entity that does business within and around this county. I also want to point out how important that I think fire, EMS, emergency management are, but I also want to state that if I'm elected your sheriff, being your sheriff, that will be the only job that I have. I won't moonlight as anything else. I think the job is that demanding and that important with the number of people that we have employed with the sheriff's office, the number of inmates that we hold. I think those would be my first priority if you were elected sheriff. Also, I'd like to say this is the largest job interview I think I've ever done, and I appreciate everybody for being here, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Nathan. Okay, Sheriff.
This career of law enforcement has been a passion of mine for a long time. I still love coming to work every day. I'm asking for your vote to re-elect me as your sheriff, and in return, I will continue to serve you with pride, unlimited energy, continuous enthusiasm, and an endless commitment to your security. Thank you.
Okay. You know, I don't have any more questions, and I know you've probably got a lot. So, when you see these guys out and about, say, hey, what did you do about this? What do you think about this? I would like to say this. Me and the committee have really been wondering how many people we would have tonight. And I want you to know that there's over 100 of you here, and we appreciate it very much. We love to see your interest in this election year. Because I'll tell you what, you hear it on TV every day, this is the most important election of your lifetime. I really believe that. Not just because we need a sheriff, not just because we need a county commissioner, but this, you know, I wrote a letter to the editor the other day, and my kids, grandkids, there's 45 of them, not the whole, our family, our immediate family, and they all owe the government $51,000 apiece. Since I wrote that letter, they owe $52,000 apiece. We need to be involved in our government more than ever before. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, John. Now, Alberta. Okay, let's all go home. Thank you.
Huh?